19 emergency personnel that responded. It happened right on this end here. And went to jump out of the boat to get back in the truck, and it just started coming. Oh, it's insurance fraud. He dumped it in the lake on purpose.
Yes, and hopefully I do see you in a couple of days. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Russ. Bye. Oh my God, guys. This is it. The original owner of my lake flooded Silverado emailed me and we just spoke on the phone, and there is so much more to this story. Like the flood line that the insurance company drew down here, which is way off. As you can see from one of the pictures that Russ sent me, my Silverado is almost fully submerged in the lake. So this was a boat ramp accident and it happened in November. I bought the truck in January for $6,500 and it was totally frozen. It had ice everywhere inside of the engine and the transmission was frozen too, but after thawing it out and spraying transmission oil and acetone in the engine, draining a crazy amount of lake water from everything, including the fuel tank, I replaced the cracked engine oil pan, a bunch of electronic components, and it started right up. Now it did have a misfire, which was just a plug wire, and a loud AC bearing, which I fixed for free with some grease. Now my Chevy Silverado doesn't look like a whole lot right now. The interior is completely disassembled, but all of that is about to change. And I'm pretty sure I have all of the remaining parts to get this Silverado back on the road. A lot of cheap used parts and some really expensive new parts from the dealer. And so my goal for this video is to drive the Silverado for the first time since its unfortunate accident with a lake. And I want to see if we can drive this thing all the way back to Wisconsin to that very boat ramp. And I will be breaking down all of the costs associated with this rebuild. Was it even a good deal? You guys are going to find out in this video. So with that, let's get to work. Let's get my Chevy back on the road. Where I want to start off is getting screens to come back to life. So if you guys remember in a previous video, this screen on our used cluster did work, and then it just never worked again. It stopped working and I can't get it to turn back on. I do have a brand new cluster from the dealer. It was $300, which isn't too bad. So we might have to put that in, but I want to try and revive this because I can still return that cluster if we don't code it. Also, this radio screen doesn't work either. Now, what I'm hoping for is that these two modules will fix everything, and I did have to get these new from the dealer. You can't get used ones. So this is the telematics control module, and this is the HMI, the human machine interface. Now, at first I thought that module had to do with robots becoming self-aware and integrating with humans, but that module has everything to do with screens working, touch screens, and ours doesn't work. So let's replace that guy. If you guys saw me taking apart the other control modules, they're in pretty rough shape. This one was no different. I mean, just look at the corrosion even on the connectors. Here we go. We're programming the HMI. These say ECU for pretty much all of them, but we're doing HMI. We just finished programming. Check this out. We have a screen and static. Oh yeah, lots and lots of static, but we have a screen. That's crazy. We still don't have this screen. I don't know what's going on still with that. Hang on, let's see. Hey, look at that. No way. Oh, we're just on like a random non-working station. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Everyone from Chicago's gonna know. Let's go to the country station. Oh, I can't play this, guys. It's copyrighted music, but it works. It works. Let's go back home. Wow, this is so cool, guys. I don't know what else to do here. Let's see, Navi. Okay, we have no GPS, that's fine. I have an antenna disconnected. All right, guys, this is really neat. Media, no media. Okay, Bluetooth, everything. Yeah, there's our CD player behind it. It doesn't have a CD. This is our new one that we put in, but it tried to eject, so that's cool. Did we lose everything? What did I just do? Oh, okay, it blanks out while you eject. Ah, there we go. Okay, it's back. Okay. You know what I haven't tried doing because I just assumed it was totally shorted out would be plugging in the old screen. Let's see what happens. All right, here's our old screen. Yeah, she's fried. The old screen is fried. I have an awesome subscriber named Jose who's a GM dealer tech, and he hooked us up with some really awesome information that sometimes you need to update the software, and you do it through a USB drive, and you literally stick it in here. And so we had to put the center console back in. We stick it in there. You can only do this with a working screen. So now that we have that, something should pop up. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Update. Sweet. This is great. Man, if this brings back our cluster and actually shows the 55,000 miles, I can return the one from the dealer and get my 300 bucks back. That'd be so cool. We are all done with the update via the USB, and check this out. Our used cluster has its screen back. Originally, when we got this used cluster for like 50 bucks, we did get that screen to work, but it said 143,000 miles or whatever it came out of. Then it just stopped working out of nowhere for like many days, and now we just got it back with the update. Let's see the miles. So obviously we have a lot of lights on, but dismiss, 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 dismiss. Okay, how do you get the miles on this thing? Info. Oh, it's got the right miles. No way, 55,225. That's what this truck actually has, and we programmed the new body control module with the mileage. That was like the only thing asking us for mileage, and that programmed the cluster as well. And when we went into cluster, it said the right mileage, but the screen wasn't working. Now the screen's working. We can return the $330 cluster that we bought from the dealer. I really thought I was gonna need this, so I just went ahead and ordered it, and it says, do not open. If you open it, you can't return it, but we didn't open it, so we can return it. You know, we gotta start this thing up. Oh yeah, look at that. All the gauges work, running perfect. We do have a check engine light on, so I'll have to figure that out. We'll have to reset the oil light, and we have 188 miles of range. I don't know how accurate that is considering we have a quarter tank. Do these things get really good mileage? I doubt it. It was reset. It's saying 28 mpg average. No way. She's running good, she's running good. All right, cool, let's keep going. Something that's gonna take me forever, but I think is gonna be important with the electronics in this truck working, would be taking apart lots of switches and cleaning them. So this is for the trailer brake. As you can see, there's some corrosion there, but it's not too bad. Normally I use electronic contact cleaner for stuff like this, which I will be using as a rinse, but I found that this works really well too, as far as getting like a deeper clean. So we're just gonna spray a little bit right on the board. You see it kind of bubbling up there, and just use a nylon bristled brush, no metal here. And we're just gonna go around gently and clean up this board, and we'll pop it out as well. Everything looks pretty good on here as far as the pins. And I'm gonna use this as a rinse. There we are. And I'd say our trailer brake is gonna work just fine. That looks perfect. So now I'm gonna dry this off. We're gonna reapply this because this seals and protects as well. So we'll just give it a light kind of coating like that. A little bit on the back, and now we can reassemble our trailer brake. Now, along with cleaning out all of the switches I can get to, I am going to attack all of the electrical connectors as well, and there are many, lots of them plug into, well, everything here. They look pretty decent, but I'm gonna hit each and every one of them. So you can see the corrosion buildup. So we're gonna let this D5 deoxit sit in here for about a minute, bubble up, do its thing, and we'll brush its teeth as well. A little rinse, a little air. And then a light spray to protect the pins and seal them up. And that's it. I'm gonna rinse and repeat that probably 50 more times, but I think it'll be well worth it in the end. It'll take me a couple hours, but I don't wanna deal with problems later. I mean, there's already a chance of many electrical gremlins, so let's eliminate as many as possible. I also ordered a bunch of fuse boxes. There's 3 of them on this truck, and they're really cheap. So this was 30 bucks for this whole thing. If you guys remember, we did have a lot of rust on some of these relays. I do believe that is working right now, but I don't trust it. 30 bucks, why not? So I removed its power supply and this plug, and these are really easy. You just kind of do that. One of these, and it comes right out. It's pretty awesome. These pins thankfully looked great, but you know what we gotta do? Clean them up. Definitely have the battery disconnected when you're doing this. Oh man, this comes complete with the nut on there and everything. You can't beat it. Here's our new part going in. Sweet. Look at that. All the fuses, relays were identical. We're good. That feels good. Just like my Brunt boots, after almost 1 year of use, like I wear these bad boys like 50 hours a week in the shop. I pick up auction cars, go on crazy car adventures. Basically everything I do outside of date night with my wife, I wear my Brunts. So these are the next gen Marin boots. So they're waterproof, oil resistant, slip resistant, non-marring, and I went with the composite toe, which is like a steel toe, but much lighter, and it doesn't get super cold in the winter. The next gen boots are super comfy right outside of the box. They use a Texas steer leather. The stitching looks absolutely perfect, and their outsoles are heat resistant up to 572 degrees. These boots also clean up really easily. Here are Max's boots after 1 year of use and a little bit of leather cleaner. If you guys use your boots for serious work, then you'll appreciate this, but look at the boot up close. None of the stitching has come up, and these are seriously worst case scenario. Look at the soles. The soles are even in excellent condition. Cheap ones that I buy would always wear out. It'd be like a slick at the bottom. Guys who use their work boots definitely know. These boots are also electric hazard rating, and they have a 30-day free trial. So if you don't like them for any reason, you can send them back and they'll even pay the shipping. And the best part is if you guys click on my link down below and use code LegitStreet10, that's gonna save you $10 off your very own pair of Brunt boots. So take advantage of the deal. Click on the link. Now back to the Silverado. I put the switches back in and yeah, I think we're working. Yeah, we can adjust the trailer brake gain. Awesome. Something I'm really interested in seeing is behind the airbag. Woo. All right, so there's a couple clips I had to get from the inside. Okay, yeah, this is what I was worried about. Obviously, corrosion going on in here. All right, I'll pop up these little plugs, and obviously the battery's disconnected. Let's get the steering wheel off. All right, here it comes. Steering wheel's off. And here's what I'm going after, the clock spring right here. So this is gonna make all of the electrical connections in the steering wheel. It's kind of like a gyro. You guys ever had a BMX bike back in the day where you could spin the handlebars over and over and over again? It's kind of like that. It's got a ribbon inside so you can turn the wheel lock to lock and still have an electrical connection. So the clock spring is pretty important, but they use a grease inside of here and it's very well sealed. So I just popped this cover off partially. I don't want to take it all the way off because this is wound up, but you can see inside of there, the ribbon is perfect and you can see the grease is still all the way around. Snap this back together. Cool. And all the connectors are in really good condition as well. So something you guys may be wondering is what do we do with all of the airbags in a flood car? Well, technically all of the airbags should be replaced. You're not gonna find any answer other than that if you Google it. But I would take this case by case because looking at the airbag material, it looks fine. And we can see all of them. They look absolutely perfect. Here's another one. The airbag system is also very sensitive to resistance. So if there is an issue with one of the bags or the circuit, it'll definitely throw a code. So at this point, I'm gonna reassemble, we'll scan for codes and kind of go from there. I thought I had everything working in the interior, but these climate control buttons, they just don't light up or work at all. A lot of times the module for the climate control is part of the push button assembly, but not on my Silverado. Here is the control unit. It was buried deep in the dash. We can't communicate with it. It's in pretty rough shape, but I'm gonna give it a whirl. I've resurrected modules before. Let's do it. I've never had this before, so this is kind of a new weapon in my arsenal of electronic fixing. Here's the other side. Never mind. This thing is literally falling apart. That just popped off, and I just noticed this rust here, it's gone all the way through the board. I gotta say, on the BMW Alpina, some of those modules, they were more robust, you know? Like everything else in the BMW falls apart, but the circuit boards. Steering wheel is going back on. This is keywayed, so it only goes on one way. Plug this in. We have our steering wheel nut. Do a little Loctite. And I've cleaned up all of these connectors. Looking good. And now we have our airbag connectors. Again, make sure your battery's disconnected for this part. And this just has clips, so it'll just snap in. There we go. She's back. All right, with the steering wheel all back together, I just replaced this antenna splitter module. It sits right in there. It was like $15, but I also had to replace the harness. It broke off and it goes to the HMI module. So here is our new harness. It's running all the way through the dash. And the harness was $8. So I have like $25-ish into replacing that. It had corroded from the rust, and that water line I think was probably right there at the top of the dash. So maybe it got a little bit more oxygen than everything else and corroded. I don't know, but it's a GM and it was cheap. And you know what else is cheap and potentially not bad, but I don't want to deal with later? The blower motor. So this has a control unit. It's not just a simple resistor anymore. And you can see here, it's pretty rusted. So I got a new one for 115 bucks, the entire assembly. And right now with everything taken apart, it's super easy to replace. Just kind of goes in there with 3 screws. All right, we got 3 T20s going in. You know the deal, we're right here. Let's spray some of this in there, let it soak. I pulled a bunch of other connectors in the area. They're all getting cleaned. Oh, you think you can get away? I don't think so, buddy. Scrub it up. Get in here too. I think it's little stuff like this that's gonna make the difference in this flood rebuild. There's a lot of flood cars that probably get pushed to auction and they just don't spend the time, where maybe it could be a good car. You just gotta give it a chance. Our HVAC doesn't work yet because I'm waiting on the new control unit that's coming in a couple hours. So I've moved on to door panels. This driver window is working. This one is not. You can hear it clicking though. And we did jump this motor and it did work, so I don't know. Yeah, passenger doesn't work either. This one works. Okay, 2 out of 4, not bad. We're gonna connect power to this motor. Oh, it's sparking. Let's go the other way. Oh yeah, haha. Oh, she's fast too. Jeez, these little batteries are awesome. Oh man, all right, let's see, can we get it to go back up? Yeah, we fixed it. Cool. I'll run this back a few times, really clean up that motor. You guys are wondering how long stuff like this is gonna last. I don't know. We're gonna find out though. I like it. We're gonna plug this in for the real test. I just wanna show you how many wires go into a door panel on a modern vehicle. Ain't no more power and ground. 40 wires going into this connector. That's crazy. How do they expect you to fix one of these things after it goes in a lake, you know? Jeez. Door panel going on. Let's see if it works. Oh, yeah. Woo, we fixed another one. Haha, sweet. I think at this point, while we wait for that HVAC control unit, let's do some interior modification. All right, well, our interior mod has to do with dyno matting the entire floor, but listen to this. Oh wait, that's not the speaker. I heard this weird noise. That's the window switch. Oh no. That window switch is freaking out. I gotta get to this. This could catch on fire. Great. Oh, we gotta get to this quick. What are you doing, window switch? All right. Oh no, it's, yeah. Oh. Oh man, this thing is freaking out. Okay. Oh. I think I'm gonna replace this. Oh man, guys, if you were wondering what it's like to live with a flood damaged vehicle, I think this is it. This is my first flood damaged vehicle. I cleaned all these too, but that wasn't good enough. Okay, again, good thing it's a GM. This is probably like $4. Oh, it's making different noises now. Oh, it's like a speaker. Okay, we're done. All right, let's get a new one of these. Let's see what's going on in here. This thing was super corroded, but I cleaned it. I don't know. Could be this little guy here. Who knows? It's not hot or anything, so that's good. But she gone. She's getting replaced. Check this out. I found a new one for $9.49. Does that mean that thing was like $4.49 like 5 years ago? Probably. You guys have seen me use this stuff before, but you can do an entire car for about 40 bucks. I'll leave a link down below. I just get this off of Amazon, and you can see it's got a sticky back here. There's a little bit of sound detonating from the factory, but you know, this is just bare. It can be kind of loud. This pickup truck is like so flat and nice, so we're just gonna do that. Mold it around with your hands, and that's it. We're gonna do that to the entire interior, then put the carpet on. It's gonna give us a much nicer, quieter ride. Our Silverado is gonna be kind of like if they had kept the Cadillac version of the pickup truck. Remember those, like the Avalanche version? It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be super quiet in here. Then you can hear all of the electrical gremlins freaking out. That's my test right there. It works. Seriously, I did this to my DeLorean, which is not a very well-built vehicle. And driving that thing down the road now, it's super quiet. It just makes it feel like nicer, like just a better quality car. We're getting there. Passenger side is almost done, and the stuff is really easy to cut around studs like that. I even ran it up in here too as well. So here's some of the studs for the back seat. I just took the nuts off, and we can overlap it just a little like that. Tuck it in, and it'll just poke right through. Here's the other one. Conforms beautifully. Look at that. Sweet. I'm going to town. I think I'm gonna use the whole box. It's gonna be the quietest Silverado in the world. So here's the rest, and I think we're gonna have enough. This is gonna add about 30 pounds to the Silverado. Whenever I dyno mat a car, people are like, you just added weight to your car or truck. Who cares, all right? I even put some of this in my GTR. I'm gonna raise the boost by like 1/4 PSI and make up for it. It's, man, wait till you see that one. The carpet on the GTR is like this thin because it's basically, you know, got Nissan Altima interior stuff. But yeah, I think this is gonna help that car a lot. We are all done. I used the entire box, which is total overkill. You can actually cut this up into little squares and just put them all over the place. Basically, if you don't have an area covered, if there is a piece right next to it, it's gonna absorb that noise. So you don't need to go this far. But when a truck is good to you by running, you know, and not having a blown engine, you gotta be good to it. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I think we're down to the last 2 control modules that we need to install and program. This is the new one for the HVAC from the dealership, and this is a $40 used SRS control unit, even though ours is fine. I'm gonna see if we can just code that in there just in case, but not honestly anything to see here. This thing like literally goes all the way back here. So get that plugged in. So like you guys saw me do before, we have the SPS2 program from GM, 45 bucks for 2 years. And here's HVAC control module. So we'll get to programming that. I'll leave you guys a link. I'm not sponsored at all. Like I just went online, you pay 45 bucks and now this VIN is unlocked for 2 years. So, you know, that's one of those right to repair things. GM probably didn't want to do that, but they were forced to so that you could fix your own car at home for the most part. This won't do everything, but it's been doing a lot. While those modules are programming, let's reassemble. Here's our amp and our rear electric motor for the window. I'm so happy I have an electric motor back here. That's such a cool pickup truck thing to be able to do. And now they actually have this pretty well noise insulated. It's in between the cab and the bed. You can get a lot of noise actually. So they give you this thick thing to put over it. So get this buttoned up. Yeah, looking good. Tighten up our seatbelt here. Oh, this is nice. This clips in here like that. Just like factory people. Before I get to cleaning this entire interior, we have to double check all the motors. There's so many for the seats. So we have a battery connected. Oh, she's sparking. Yeah, that thing's probably locked up. Let's reverse the old polarity. A little bit. Yeah, when it's sparking at the battery like that, the thing is locked. But it's a motor, just like a starter. You can give it some love taps. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's not fully bolted in, but it's working. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can totally revive motors like this. Obviously it had a little bit of rust in there that was holding it up, but we'll work it back and forth and it'll probably be okay. If not, it's a cheap motor we can swap out easily. Now the carpets from the truck didn't look all that bad, so I just let them dry and gave them a quick vacuum and they look practically brand new now. They really don't smell at all. I don't know what else I can do with these, but we can make the seats look a little bit better. I gave them a quick cleaning, actually just this one mostly in the last video, but as you can see, the rear seats have some mold. So this is mostly what I'm gonna use here. Some release, a drill, my little brushes, and we're gonna steam them as well. This blue blower thing is pretty cool too. Let's start off with a pretty clean surface. And it is steam time, people. I'm gonna get in everywhere. This will kill everything that's alive in this seat. But honestly, I don't think there's really anything alive. These really do not smell at all. And once we put the interior back together, I'm gonna show you guys something really cool. It's called an ozone machine. Die lake bacteria. I'm sure it just dies sitting here on my shop floor for a week, but you know what I mean. After the steam, we're hitting them with some release. This is an all surface cleaner and I use it on interiors. It's really nice. These little brushes for the drill are amazing. Shameless plug, I do sell a 3-pack at LegitStreetCars.com. They're awesome. Highly recommend these for a cleaning interior. Makes everything go so much quicker. Get in there. Look how nice this leather is too. After cleaning with the brush and the release, I'm using the steamer again as kind of a rinse. And then we will wipe it dry with our microfiber. And if you guys are worried about using water on your leather, this truck was fully submerged in a lake for like 45 minutes and then froze. And it's a GM. So all you people saying the quality of GM interiors is lacking, here's the quality of that interior. There you go. It's looking pretty good to me. It can be really hard to clean these perforated seats, but look at this. This had mold all over it. It looked so bad before. And now it's looking pretty good. Passenger seat is all cleaned up and disinfected. And the final step is gonna be a little bit of leather conditioner. And we'll just spray it on a rag, go right on, absorb into our leather, or probably artificial leather that GM uses, I'm not sure, but it's gonna protect it and make it look pretty. All right, here's what our passenger seat looked like before when I picked this thing up at the auction. And here's what it looks like now. I can't wait for Russ to take a seat. We're definitely taking him for a ride. Actually, I gotta let him drive the thing, so I'm gonna clean this and the rest of them will be good on seats. I was going around minting out this passenger seat and I see this tube here and I'm like, oh man, that thing is filled with water. I gotta like drain that. And I ran the part number on the sensor. That's actually a fluid filled seat occupancy sensor. So it's supposed to have a fluid in there. It's not water. It's gotta have some kind of antifreeze, type of fluid inside of it so it doesn't freeze. But yeah, when you sit down in the passenger seat, there's a bladder inside and it pushes the fluid into that sensor to tell the airbag system that someone is sitting there. So don't drain your tube. It's supposed to be that way. It's time for the carpet and then these beautiful seats. Here is the final for the rear. So these were pretty nasty and honestly, You cannot tell that these aren't brand new seats. The rears were probably never sat in. They are perfect. The fronts ain't looking too bad either. But anyway, let's start bringing our carpet over. It is carpet time. We're gonna start off with the rear, then the seats. The interior is coming back together. This thing's all programmed. Let's see what we got. Are we gonna get blower motor now? Oh. Oh yeah. Just taking off like a jet. Woo. Will it switch? Yeah, no, let's switch down. Oh yeah, we got on the foot too. Sweet. Look at that, we got our blend door working. Perfect. So we're switching right now to heat, and okay, cool. That's nice. It still doesn't turn red. This has to turn red, right, when you get to hot? Silverado, Sierra, guys, that turns red, right? This is crazy. I've tested every single button. It all works. Everything switches. You can see it in the cluster. This is the only one that doesn't work. Rear defrost. Got nothing. Chime volume. We gotta turn this down. It's so, oh no, is that the lowest? Oh my gosh. That is loud. Okay, you're going all the way down, buddy. Yeah, I mean, everything is working. Let's see. Remote start with auto-cooled seats. Yeah, turn me on. Duh. Remote window operation. Oh, yeah, we want that on. Yeah, we're gonna have remote start with auto-heated seats as well. We have Crunchy McCruncherson plugged in right now. Let's see if anything changes here. Ah, we do get the red. I knew it. All right, does this work? Huh, that's still not working. That is stuck. Huh, that's weird. Why isn't rear defrost working? Okay, it's something to figure out, but yeah. But hold on, this is showing blue and red just at all times. Does it not go red when you get to a certain point? I have no idea. I got nothing, people. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Still can't believe they gave us this crusty one. Look, can't even press the buttons. This is horrible. That one's stuck now. Someone spilled something in here. Whatever, mine works. Whew. This thing's kind of heavy. Had to take the long way around the shop. Whew. Ah, did I make it? I don't know what I'm more worried about, messing up the paint or the seats, both. This thing's just so nice. Oh God, if this thing runs and drives down the road, can't believe it was only $6,500. Whew. This side of the bench is in, and I just installed our spare tire jack. Goes right here. And now it's time for the little guy. There we go. All right, gets the nuts in. You know I gotta do it. You know I gotta sit in these back seats. Oh. It's so comfortable, guys. It is so comfortable. Oh man. I got cup holders. I got everything. My kids are gonna love this. Window open. We're pickup truck people now. Before the front carpet goes in, it's time for our Ram Air induction. This is for the heat to make it all the way to the back passengers so that they can be nice and comfy. All right. It's front carpet time, it's front carpet time. Here we go. This is a very satisfying part of the project, I must say, as it all comes together. Next, we have our Bose subwoofer to reinstall in the box. This was, filled with water, of course, but the speaker itself looks great. I think it's gonna work, and we're gonna find out. Bose sub going in. All right, it's not making any weird noises yet. I can't do copyrighted music, but this definitely works. It sounds great, honestly. For having such a small sub, if there's anywhere it can work, it's as close to the driver as possible. Good job, GM. Center console going in. Lots of connectors going on here, that's for sure. Of course, these are all cleaned up as well. Looking good. Is in. Not messing around with this center console, I'll tell you that. Okay, I got a lot of stuff plugging into this center console here. It's like a real car again. This is awesome. It's about to go back together with our cup holders. There's still lake water in here. It is a nice, beautiful, sunny day, so all the ice is gone. It's been gone for a while now. We'll pour this out right there in memory. Pour one out for my lake homies. This is a really cool feature. You can take this and swap it. Yeah, you can swap it in this position just in case you like your drink here and you like to store more stuff in here. I don't know. Silverado, they thought of everything. You can dunk them in lakes. You can switch around your cup holders. They're perfect. Next, we have one of two glove boxes. That's right. We got two, an upper. This has 4 screws. And we have a lower, like that. And we have truck camper load information. This truck should not be used to carry a slide-in camper. The more you know. Ba-na-na-na. Cluster is all bolted in. Now we just have this totally real leather cover that goes on top. Beautiful. All this is done too. Oh man, just wanna be all over this thing. I don't know. Seat time, people, front seat time. They've definitely gotten lighter, you know, now that the water's out of them. Or maybe I'm stronger, one of the two. It's the water. It's definitely the water. Okay, always be careful of the dash. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, we got a passenger seat. When you're installing seats, it's really best to just remove the headrest. So when I did that, my hand got wet for some reason. Yeah, look at that. So these have this little flap that you can, you know, unhook. And it was just holding all the water right at the bottom. I still got water in this thing. Driver's seat is in. We have this going on. Don't have this one, so that's kind of important. I've taken the seat back out. This is pretty cool stuff, but here is the motor for the recline. And then this is one of the cooled seat motors, and it has like a little air filter here. And then here's that gel bladder for the occupancy sensor. Pretty neat. But we can also see the airbags and everything. Everything looks great, guys. Like, seriously, it looks so good. Oh, look at the lumbar. That's how it works. This cable will push in on your back. That's neat. Yeah, this motor's not working. We're gonna have to shock it back to life. All right, let's give it some 18 volts. Oh yeah. It worked. Worked for a minute. I'll reverse the polarity. Yeah. Go back. Perfect. We shocked it. We gave you 18, just like you wanted. Guys, I think that's officially the fix for electrical motors that have been underwater. Don't give them 12 volts or 14 when the truck's running. Give them 18. It's like Frankenstein. You're just bringing them back. Cleaned up all the connectors. Let's plug this in. Nice. Yeah. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Super quiet too. Perfect. Oh man, we're in business, guys. Look at these seats, they're beautiful. All right, we're getting there, guys. I think we're gonna go for a little test maiden voyage run. We're driving this thing all the way to Wisconsin, but I don't even know if the transmission is good. So before we fully assemble everything, we're waiting on little parts and our headrests are drying. Let's swap out the old Rural King and go for a ride. This is the battery out of the Typhoon. I thought it was a goner, but it has saved us. This whole time we've been using this, but I don't trust it. We're gonna get the right one in. Honestly, the right size battery is like about the same size as the old Rural King, but it's got a handle, so it's so nice. Battery's done. Let's get our little subframe connector in. I already bolted that one in. These trucks fall apart without these underhood subframe connectors. I'm just kidding. I don't think they do anything. All right, for now, everything is done under the hood. Look at that, wow. This didn't shut before because it was frozen and now it shuts, sweet. Final pieces to this interior. We just have to screw this in. All right, we'll plug in our heated and cooled seat switches. I actually don't know if these work just yet, but all this stuff is really easy to take apart. Beautiful. Wow, can't believe this is my truck. This is so cool. Outside of a little bit more cleaning, we are all set. We do need the headrests, obviously. They are still wet, but wow. This is all mine. My Chevy Silverado LTZ Z71 also. It's got lots of letters and numbers. All right, if you guys watched the last video, you know we found a Cars CD in the old CD player. Now we have a new CD player and it works, so let's see what happens.
This vehicle is in demonstration mode, connected by OnStar's high-speed 4G.
I want the cars.
Press the blue OnStar button to learn more.
I don't want to learn more. I just want to let the good times roll. No way. It works. I wish there was no such thing as copyright. This totally works. It starts off with let the good times roll. That's so cool. All right, I will be listening to this all the way up to Wisconsin, but then I'm handing this over to Russ. And he's got a 2024 Silverado now. I don't even think that has a CD player.
This vehicle is in demonstration mode, connected by OnStar's high-speed 4G connection. Press the blue OnStar button to learn more.
Okay. But if Russ does have a way of playing this, I'm gonna give it to him. If not, I'll take it back. With the interior all back together on the Silverado and dry, I've been running this ozone machine, and this is gonna kill any kind of mold or germs or anything. Before this little drive, we just gotta take off these biohazards. I think that's pretty much the last thing. And man, fingers crossed that this transmission shifts. That's all I gotta say. I do think if it does shift, I'm gonna go ahead and flush it. We still have to do the engine oil flush as well, but go for a ride one step at a time, right? For the first drive, we're definitely bringing our computer. Taking this one step further, we have an engine wiring diagram, our multimeter, our breakout box. Because as much as I'm nervous about the transmission not shifting, I'm also nervous about electrical stuff. There we go. Oh, does this cool Chevy thing in there too. I love that. right, starts right up. All right, here's where we're at for lights. 4-wheel drive service, trailer brake, and we got a check engine light on for some reason, but it's running good. Yeah, it runs great. Okay. I don't know if those engine hours are accurate. This thing has a timer, trans fluid temp, that's awesome. Trailer brake, no way, it's got an off-road. I think this is for the tilt and yaw, so this should move. Oh, this is awesome. This truck keeps getting better. Oh, it shows steering degree. Look at this. Oh, so cool. Here we go, people. First drive. It's running good. We'll worry about that check engine light maybe later. I don't know. I just want to drive it right now. Oh, this thing is huge. I need a bigger shop. All right, so we are going forward. That works. Here's reverse. And we have a backup camera. Pretty good one, too. I like it. Can't believe I'm driving this thing. This is insane. This thing was fully submerged. All right, let's just see if it shifts. Come on, baby. Oh, we're into 2. Come on. That's 3. It's a 6-speed. Come on. Where's 4? Yep, that's 4. Cool. And that's 5. And I think it did 6. I pulled over to scan for codes. This is a new one. Intake air temp not plausible. That means there's more than one intake air temperature sensor? That's weird. All right, we're in actual values. There are 2 sensors apparently, and they are reading way, way differently. This mass airflow sensor was definitely suspect for sure. That's not gonna cause it to run bad, but I think we could just replace this on the road. Let's go get one. We are about to get on the highway. We'll go to the auto parts store. Feels great. Trans is just mint. Okay, we're at 55 miles an hour. That is the legal speed limit, so we won't go any faster than 55. The entire time. I totally will not test this to roughly 80 miles an hour. No, I won't. Look at that. That's one of those Shelby F-150s. Man, if I had a blower on this thing, I'd be hunting them down at 55 miles an hour. Seriously, guys, this thing is perfect. It rides like a brand new truck. Look at this. Even the alignment is just spot on. We're on kind of a little, okay, that guy's about to hit me, so I won't do an alignment test just yet. But anyway, the alignment's perfect. It's even showing like 33 PSI in each tire. They're not leaking. It's great. I don't know, guys. This should probably be my daily driver. Oh, and this is something I really wanted to double check, and that is the transmission fluid temperature 153. So originally these have a thermostat and they run at like 200 degrees, but there was an update. I did this on my wife's Escalade and it brings it down to run around 150, 160, which is way, way better for transmission life. I mean, it was a GM bulletin. So we'll double check the part. The new part looks a little different when we go back in the air, because when we get back, I definitely want to change the oil because we put a flush in there, and then do another transmission flush because it's working so well. I just want to be nice to it, but I think we're good. I don't think I need to buy that $100 thermostat. Wow, with the check engine light, it still goes into 4-cylinder mode. See that? It says V4, and then I'll give it a little gas. It'll switch to V8. So it definitely still has active fuel management enabled, which is something I'm going to disable because it's very problematic. If you don't have a lifter tick, if your engine's running good, I highly recommend you disable that. You will lose, I don't know, like 1 or 2 MPG on the highway, something like that. But it could cost you like 5-6 grand if you don't do the work yourself. You know, you might wipe out the whole cam. It's not worth it in my opinion. But also do whatever the EPA tells you to do. On the way to the auto parts store, I stopped by the shop. We grabbed our T15, so we can just swap this out right here in the parking lot. This thing looked very suspect from the get-go. Yeah, and I cleaned it, but you can see the corrosion in there. And yeah, there are multiple intake air sensors in there, and they just check against each other. That's really weird. Like, it's not that important, you know, to have 2 sensors. And then one fails and you gotta replace it, so I don't know. We'll replace this in like 2 seconds. Click, click. All right, parking lot repair. E-race, no codes. There's our live data. 41 degrees intake air, and then okay for the second one now. Okay, that's weird. A little gas here. Trailer brake system. 4-wheel drive, okay. Gotcha. No check engine though. I let it run for a few minutes, and now these temperatures are way closer to each other. I looked it up, and they're usually 5 to 10 away from each other for whatever reason, but that's okay. All right, I think that's fixed. Let's go back to the shop. We have to change some oil and some trans fluid, and yeah, keep going. We got more lights to fix. We made it. Z71. We're back at the shop, and you know something I love about this pickup truck is all the room that I have underneath the back seat, even when it's in use. So now I can store my Fantic tire inflator. I have a jumper in there as well. And guys, I can't tell you how many times the Fantic X8 Apex has saved me on the road. This makes the difference between needing to call a tow truck and just moving on with your trip. This is a portable tire inflator, so it's battery powered and it'll inflate your tires in no time, no matter what you drive. It even works on ATV tires, bike tires, and even balls. It also has a super bright LED. Anyway, Fantic is having a very limited time sale, so I'm gonna drop you an Amazon link down below and you'll get this thing right away. It's phenomenal. Let's take a look at this oil. Please no weird chunks, please no weird chunks. Here we go. Bam. Oh yeah, it looks beautiful. Oh, I love doing engine flushes. They're just cleaning everything out, and the inside of the crankcase is gonna look perfect. This stuff is great. I used this on my DeLorean that sat for like 32 years and the oil was just black. It was nasty. Cleaned it right out. It was kind of like doing a colonoscopy, you know, but for your engine and not that painful. I don't know anything about those, but I hear. Oil filter coming down too. Whew, it is hot. Ah, okay. All right, it's good to warm up your engine when you change your oil, but maybe wait like, 15 minutes. But speaking of changing really hot fluids, we're gonna change the transmission fluid too. I probably don't need to, but this thing has been so good to me so far. Let's just flush it out, make sure 100% there's no water in there. And here's the transmission thermostat I was talking about. I do believe this is the updated one based on the temperatures that we're seeing. And the older one, I guess, was a more square design. And this had a full trans service at the dealer like 4,000 miles before the whole, accident. So they probably did that at the same time. Here we go again. I should have added some kind of drain or gotten a pan with a drain. I think this is too thin to drill one in. This would be weld one. I don't know. Hopefully this is the last trans service I have to do for 40, 50,000 miles. Probably let the next guy deal with it. I don't know what I'm doing with this thing just yet. Definitely gonna drive it for a while. I really like it. I say that before it's left us stranded going all the way up to Wisconsin. We'll see how that goes first, then we'll make some decisions. Oh, and if you guys are curious, Ross did get a new Chevy Silverado. He was paid out $29,500 by the insurance company for this one, and then with fees, I got it for $6,500. So if it makes it there, guys, I'm gonna add this up at the end of this video. I think we are way, way below that, like under 10 for sure. Now, let's see if I've gotten any smarter here. It was the last time this thing just fell out. All right, I'm leaving 2 in. Kind of doing one of these. We'll drain it out slow. I've learned from my past mistakes. That's what it's all about, right? All right, cool. You know what, getting this pan out is a bear. We're just gonna pump this out, guys. Just go super clean with it. I didn't think we need to do another flush, but see what we get. Yeah, we're right at the bottom right now. This is where all the water would be. There's nothing. This trans is great. Look at that. I'll still pump it out. We'll still get some new fluid in here. Why not? Well, that's another 70 bucks in fluid. That's it, guys. Drain the whole pan. Didn't even have to take it out. Technically, you have to take the exhaust down. You can bend this down with a pry bar, though, to get it out. That's what I did last time. There's just no reason. We got it all out with the pump. We're going back together, people. Trans service is done. Let's go fill up some fluids. And we're gonna whittle down some more lights on the dash. I wanna go to Wisconsin to meet up with Russ with literally a perfect vehicle. I put the same stuff in my wife's Cadillac 8-speed, another problematic transmission, and this stuff works great. A lot of good reviews online from people switching to this and having good luck. So I use AMSOIL and everything, luckily. Similar to the Escalade that calls for 0-20, so does this. I switched to 530. I think 0-20 is just too thin. And in talking with Justin over at Indiana Muscle Car, he works on a lot of these newer LT style engines. They do 530 as well. And I've been running the Escalade now for like 10,000 miles. I don't know. I like it. So we have that 4-wheel drive light on, and one thing I noticed on this is that there is a neutral position. It's really hard to see. There's a little N in here, and that does not work. We did have some codes for the actual switch, so that could cause a 4-wheel drive light. Since this guy was underwater, I'm gonna try and replace it right now. If I can get these clips to release. God, these clips are doing way too good of a job right now. There we go. And I actually got a new one for like 30 bucks, so that's pretty awesome. Bam. And we'll just plug everything back in. And no screws or anything. This guy just clips right back, just like that. Okay, I have to clear the code, but let's see. All right, so we have trailer brake. Are we gonna get 4-wheel drive? I don't know, maybe not. We'll dismiss. All right, let's give this a whirl. We'll go to auto. And it is shifting, we can hear it. And then we have to go to neutral if we want to shift into four-wheel drive. Shift in progress. So four-wheel drive worked for low. And another shift in progress. And StabiliTrak comes off. Traction control automatically comes off when you go into four low. That is super off-road mode, but let's just go back. We'll run an auto. Traction's back on. Let's try neutral now. Yeah, after a bunch of shifting, we don't have any errors for the four-wheel drive. That is fantastic. So that's fixed with like a $30 switch. Check it out. No codes, transfer case control module. That would code up immediately before she's fixed. All right, the headrests are back together and totally dry. Put these in, slide this in, put our back seats down. You guys remember what the window switch sounded like? Oh no, it's, yeah. Oh man, this thing is freaking out. I got a new one. This was like $11 on Amazon. I ended up getting all of them just in case. Snap it in. All right, we have our new switch in. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it works. Sweet, we fixed it. All right. I wish it was this nice when I picked this truck up, but it's nice enough to wash it outside. We got to do that, make it look pretty. Oh, I cannot wait. It's gonna look so good. Woo. LegitStreetCars foam cannon time. Oh yeah. Woo. This is how you get to know your vehicle. Wash it, people. Wash your own cars. It's fun. All right, she's all washed up. It is rinse time. Gigantic drying towel time. Oh my gosh, yeah. Look at how dry that gets it. I'm gonna dry this thing off in just a couple minutes. Oh yeah, look at my Silverado. Oh, this is so nice. Are you kidding me? Now we do have this crease right here we gotta fix, and some stuff here, which we're gonna try and knock out before we head out to Wisconsin. And I'm gonna keep this on as long as it'll stay. Well, I drove this thing home. It's the next morning. Everything was going great. I was just about to get gas, and it's running right now, but I lost tack. I have no tack right now, but it is running. And the trans started shifting like really weird. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm driving it right now. Oh, it's shaking. Okay. Check engine light is back too. I couldn't imagine the crank sensor went bad or it wouldn't run, you know, for the RPM not working unless the cluster just died. But at the same time, it's running bad. Okay, that shift was okay. Yeah, it's got a little one of these going on. I just left my house too. I got like a half hour till the shop. Man, I hope I can make it. I just pulled over into a Forest Reserve parking lot. And I did not bring this in last night. No! My scanner's dead. It's still running. I'm just gonna book it back. All right, I made it down the road. I gotta get gas. I gotta go all the way just yet. So I always do that for some reason on new builds. I don't fill the tank all the way, just in case for some crazy reason we're gonna drop the tank again. Start. Okay, it started. The gauges sweep. Okay, it's cold out. Drive with care. Oh, we got it back. No way. Huh, okay. Remember, this is like a cluster out of 140,000 mile Silverado. I don't think clusters go bad though. I mean, it's sweeping. It's gotta be a crank sensor issue. Yeah, it's not misfire anymore. Before it was missing. Okay, I'm going to the shop. We're cruising along on the highway. Everything is back to normal. It's running great for now. It's the key word, for now. I thought everything was fine after 25 miles of driving yesterday. But it's a flood car, people. It's a flood car, or truck. Since I'm a pickup truck guy now, I gotta listen to some country music. I guess technically I've been a pickup truck guy for like 3 or 4 years because I do have an SVT Lightning that you guys keep asking when it's gonna be done. But I'll let you know little secrets while I wait for stuff to come in for this truck, control units, and even when literally the computer's programming, I am working on the engine on the Lightning. So when you guys finally watch that series, you'll see a lot of Silverado parts in the background. That's because I'm doing both trucks at the same time. We made it. And we have crankshaft code and an ignition coil 7. This has been popping up, so I think we have a bad coil. This is probably due to it running bad. We haven't had any cat codes yet, so it was underwater, just like that coil, and the other ones, I guess, too. We should probably take a look at them all. Of course, 7 is all the way back here. Let's see. Ooh, yeah. That's not good. But the good news is the connector, and I pulled a pin, this is just rusty. The plastic hasn't melted or anything, so the rust there was making an intermittent connection and throwing a circuit code. I don't think the coils are actually bad. They are super, super vacuum sealed, so I don't think any water got in here at all. I think it was just in the connector. The rust made the connection. That's it. So normally I would say just replace all your coils, but if you want to get the good GM ones, it's like $350 for the set, and I don't think we need to spend that money. I think these are fine. I think we can do a wiring repair, put this all back together, and then just test it. You know, if it's good, it's good. You guys know the deal. We're gonna spray them down, and we'll give them a little scrub. We'll slide these guys right back in. Go back home. Don't ever make contact again. You're divorced. You're divorced pins. So even though this is sealed, it's hard to get anything in here to clean up the rust very well. I'm just gonna replace this one coil. We'll just test drive it and see what happens. Cylinder 7 coil, here you go. These coils are super easy. I might just buy one extra one for the road trip. We'll throw it in the glove box just in case, but I think we're gonna be okay. Everything is back together. I did the other side as well, and every other electrical connector on this engine I have removed and cleaned. They were all fine though. All right, let's see, is she running good again? Oh yeah, she's smooth as glass. All right, cool. We gotta get to the crank sensor, which is unfortunately like behind the starter. All right, the battery disconnected. We're gonna drop the starter. Starter bolts are on there. That was the old starter. Not bad. Works good. There she is. There's our crank sensor. Not the easiest thing to get to. Now here's the plug, and yeah, it's got a little rust in there. It's not horrible. The coils were way worse. I pulled the sensor out, and the bottom looks fine. This is totally sealed, but there's rust in the connector. I don't know if you guys can see this. There's some droplets of water too. There's still water in here. This thing's 30 bucks and it's a pain to get to. I'm gonna put a new sensor in. We're gonna clean the pins just like we did the coils, put this thing back together, and then we're gonna go for another maiden voyage trip before the maiden voyage to, 2.5 hours away in Wisconsin. We'll just see what happens, see what comes up. Here is our brand new crank sensor. Kind of hard to show what's going on here, guys, but basically there's a hole and I'm gonna put the sensor in it, and then we have a bolt. That's about it. It's in. We have a new sensor. Yay. We're gonna add a little bit more dielectric grease here too. Get in there. Okay, that's good. New sensor's plugged in, starter's back in, we're all wrapped up here. Before we lower the truck, I have to spray our heavy duty metal protector from AMSOIL. This is the undercoating I use on everything, and it's so easy. It goes on as a liquid, but will dry as a wax, and we're gonna get it everywhere. I think rust looks way worse on camera, and people from the South are just gonna think this is bad no matter what. But guys, this is just surface rust. Check this out. Literally just surface rust. This is super solid. This is actually a really solid truck overall that's not rotted out. Pinch welds look great. Everything looks awesome. If this was a show truck, we could get some black paint or something like that, but it's not. We just want it to be functional. So we're gonna protect it. No prep, this stuff just goes on just like this. You can do your whole car or truck in probably about an hour. It's actually a ton of fun. And then you can live with peace of mind that your car or truck is not going to rust out. Definitely wear some breathing lung protection with this stuff. I love doing this. And I'm gonna leave you guys a link down below. You can get 25% off all AMSOIL products by becoming one of my preferred customers. Russ, who we're gonna meet in Wisconsin if this thing makes it, really wanted his lake access permit stickers. So I'm gonna give them to me. I kind of had a collection going. These I'm gonna remove, but I don't think he needs these back. I mean, if I can get them off nicely, I'll give them to him, but they are just stickers at the end of the day. So there we go. I'm peeling off the fish sticker right now, and I gave him a temporary Jerry curl type of haircut there. See ya, he still looks angry. See, if we take his eye out, will he still look angry? Yeah. Man, Ross, I am really trying to save these stickers. Oh, come on. Gotta get this one whole. Yes, I got one whole. Sweet. This is all cleaned up, by the way. And yes, I'm leaving the flood line for a while longer. I think it looks pretty cool. There you go, Russ. Some of them made it, some of them didn't. I tried though. You know what? Since we have working headlights, I've had these LED bulbs that I believe are the same as the Silverado. So let's put these in. Okay. This out. There she is. I think this is the same one. And now we're just gonna plug these new ones in. These are nice and LED. Definitely putting the seal back because this is most likely what saved my headlights to begin with. It's a great seal, GM. There we are. Oh, wow, that looks great. So these are factory projector housings. That's perfect. Look at the difference in the wall. That's crazy. Wow, look at the difference there at night. I mean, with the lights off in my shop, that is insane. This is the older generation Silverado, but it doesn't look that old from the outside, and this makes it even look newer. Wow, that is amazing. Look at, this is like 2025. This is like square body, like 1985. What a difference. 50 bucks on Amazon, you can't beat it. True test will be at night, but I just shut the lights off. We have pretty good skylight system here in the shop, but anyway, Bam, that's with both of them. And I did the brights LED as well. Ah, that looks great. I love it. Very impressed, guys, very impressed. This is so funny, by the way. This was totally clear. We had no condensation in any of the lights up here. Look, they were all like that. And now that it's been out of the lake for a few months at this point, since October, we have condensation in this one. I mean, this just started, man. Like, that's crazy. Look at this, if I hit it kind of goes together. It's annoying. We got Dennis Does Dents on the way to fix this door crease and a couple other dents. And if you guys remember the picture of this thing where it was completely submerged, this door looks like it's coming off, like it is just about to get ripped off. So that's probably what happened there. It went into the fender right here. It lines up perfect. What's crazy to me is how well the door functions after seeing that picture. Like, this is just how far it's supposed to open. I did notice some damage to the door check. So there's the inside of it. You can see it's all mangled, and here are pieces of it. I think the door check took the brunt of the force, but if you look at these right here, the actual door hinges, they're in good shape. I mean, look at that, nothing's bent at all. That's insane. I think if Dennis gets the dent out, this door will close just fine. All right, we're gonna have to do some real surgery here. For all intents and purposes, this door is a goner, but Dennis said if we can take the door off and the glass, he'll put it on his bench and he'll try his best. He's worked miracles before. With the door check taken apart, we can see how much this door opened. I think it actually opened more when it was in the water. It's so crazy how well it works. Nothing pulled out here. Like a rock, it's a Chevy. Door's coming off. Whew. It's pretty light. It's my new purse. It's my Silverado door purse. It doesn't sound that way at all. We have the door on Dennis's table with some good lighting so we can see the crease here. And so what happened is the bolts that go into the door on the hinges were fine, but this bent here. So I got some longer bolts. We're gonna thread these in. So we have these two here. If we're able to put some downward pressure on here, we could maybe pop this up. And you can see how bad this is. It's like a little spoiler back there. It needs to be parallel with the rest of the door. Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Does Dents is back again. It's been a while. I don't even remember the last car we did together. It's probably been like a year or something. Was it the DeLorean? Yeah, he took out a ton of the stainless dents from there. So, you know, it's just a Silverado. It's just normal. These are dents from the parking lot, Dennis. Nothing weird happened here. Yeah, I sent him the picture and he's like, seriously? I'm like, ah. So we have our long bolts threaded in and our breaker bar. Let's see what we can do here. We're just gonna try and bend it back gently. Yeah, we gotta be gentle because there is a nut that's welded on the inside and those welds are probably compromised from them bending, so we don't wanna break them off completely. And we're gonna try this one too. You can see this bolt is so much higher than the other one. Yeah. All right, we've bent that as much as we feel comfortable with. Now Dennis is gonna work on this massive crease. Dennis just pulled the door check out. This thing just blew up. Wow, I cannot believe how well this worked.
It's amazing. Like, I don't understand how it's still able to function as well as it did.
It's coming up a little. It's a tough one though. Crazy, that does not damage the paint at all. Dennis has had to get a little bit creative here because of the extent of the damage. So we actually have ratchet straps and my lift arms, and he's glued the strap right here. And Dennis, what exactly are you trying to do?
Basically, I'm putting tension on the panel just so the metal has somewhere to move. When the panel is so contracted like this, it's very difficult to get these lower parts to come back up. Just roughing it and see what's gonna happen. It's basically an experiment. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen with this. It's really bad, but we'll figure it out.
Trailer brake system issue. We fixed the four-wheel drive issue with this switch. I think it's just this. And for 40 bucks brand new, you get the switch and the whole bezel. So hang on, let's just plug this in really quick. See what happens. It should come back right away. No, nothing, guys. We're good. Came back immediately last time. Okay. The only light we have on right now is for the airbag since, you know, we have the door off. Getting fixed. Cool. Another light down. This is great. After we get the door back on and clear the airbag light, I think we're done with lights on the dash. Knock on A-pillar. You never know. Now we're trying to straighten this out a little bit. That's working. All right, guys, that's all she wrote for the door. This is about as good as Dennis thinks he can get it. So we used to have a massive crease right here. That is gone. There is still a little bit of a divot here. What's nice about this really cool paint job is that it's hard to tell, but yeah, this part is just too severely damaged. The real right repair here would be literally a brand new door. But if I can find one in this color that doesn't need any work, I'll buy that, slam it on, and the truck would be like mint, especially after we get the dents out here on the bed, which aren't nearly as bad as the door. This eventually will need to be painted though, that's for sure. All right, we're going back on. Glass is back in, door panel's back on, new door check installed. And that is a beautiful thing. So before it was pretty difficult to close because this part of the door was like almost rubbing on the fender. The seal was hitting it mostly. So outside of Dennis making this door look a million times better, it now closes properly. So it's not perfect, obviously. There's a little something right there. But the alternative to this is a new door or a used door. I found a few that are in okay condition. They need paint work and dent work for like $700. So then you add in the paint work and all that, $1,200, something like that. Or we just kind of live with this. I don't know. This is good enough for now. I think what I'm gonna do is just wait in case I find a door one day that's in this exact color that doesn't need any work and that bolts on. But yeah, that's good. Eventually I do need to get this fixed, which we're gonna find out the story on why that happened. It was from the whole, boat ramp thing. I'm thinking about getting stickers made just like this. I think that would be really funny. But for now, we have to put a LegitStreetCars sticker on the bottom left-hand corner here, right about there. Bam. Now it's officially my truck. I did an LSC plate in the front. I'm gonna grab a bunch of tools, fingers crossed that we make it on this trip, but we're gonna head out to Wisconsin in the morning, meet up with Russ and his brand new Silverado that he bought after this thing was totaled out, and we're gonna get the full story. And I think I gotta back this thing up onto the boat ramp where this all went down, just for memories. Well, it looks like we have a CAT efficiency code bank 2, so it'll run just fine with that code. The catalytic converter could have gotten damaged with it being filled with water. Could be an O2 sensor also, but I bought this like scratch and dent guaranteed to pass emission system cleaner. It was like $6, like 75% off. Double your money back. I coincidentally have a half tank of fuel, so we're gonna dump this in the gas tank and we'll drive it for 40 miles, then fill the tank. And it says right here, this will help with certain O2 sensor performance codes. Do I think this is gonna work? No, not at all. Do I want to try it for $6? Yes. Worst case, we might have to do an O2, possibly a CAT, but I doubt it. So anyway, we'll run this and then our trip to Wisconsin will let us know if that code comes back. Mechanic in a bottle, going in, fix all of my problems. Ooh, it saves gas too, sweet. This is funny. Use 4 times per year to maintain a healthy fuel emissions system. Yeah, okay. That's a lie. I cleaned up our used AC push button control, and now everything doesn't have that crunch to it, nothing sticks, and everything works. Sweet. Oh, and if you guys remember the Cars CD, this thing fully functions, but Russ's new Silverado doesn't have a CD player, so I get to keep it. All right, guys, this is it. This is the morning we attempt to drive my Silverado to Wisconsin to meet up with the previous owner at the boat ramp. I got this thing running, warming up. Here's everything we're bringing on the trip, a bunch of tools, our computer, and I have the LSC Ultra pen light and some wipes to give Russ as a gift. No lights on the cluster, everything is perfect. We got some heated seats going on for me and my passenger. And here's my passenger, my wife. First ride in the Silverado.
So excited. I've always wanted like a big pickup truck.
This is like a real pickup truck.
It really is. Yes.
All right, so you've never even sat in this.
No.
First time.
I got my coffee. Ooh, it works.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's got power seats that work.
Oh my gosh.
They didn't always work.
Lumbar support.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, I'm excited.
I had to give them 18 volts to work. I had to shock them.
Oh, here we go. I'm like, I was trying to find this button to push me forward. Nice.
We have mobile hotspot on and working on the website, fulfilling orders. And here we go, guys. We got a ton of Ultra pen light orders and the shop wipes. They're going crazy right now. Check them out. I'll leave a link down below. But we fulfill everything in-house, and Max and my wife handle the website and shipping and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I'll leave you guys the link down there. They're awesome. All right, let's do this though. All right, guys, I'm doing it. I have a phobia or something against filling a tank on a new project until I feel really comfortable that it's a successful project and I'm feeling comfortable. We'll knock on the flood line. Yes, it's still there. I'm gonna fill it. I'm gonna fill it all the way, and that's what the instructions on that stuff that's supposed to fix the catalytic converter says to do. Drive like 20 miles at a half tank and then fill it. So Feeling good, feeling good. It's a 5.3, so it takes 87, but possibly not for long. I may do something to the Silverado. I don't know. All right, let's do this. Drive with care, we got some ice. This is the gas gauge, go all the way to full. Yes, it does. Here we go.
Woo!
We're getting on the highway. Look at how smooth this thing is.
This is perfect.
This
is unbelievably perfect.
It's like new.
Yes.
Oh, hey, does your heated seat work?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, mine works too.
Okay, cool.
We put new switches in. They were only $10 at the dealership.
This is so insane.
It's a Chevy. But seriously, it's 10 years old.
Wait, is it Chevy built to last?
No, that's Ford is built Ford tough.
Ford
This
tough.
was like a rock.
A rock.
But back in our day, like, what is it now? Chevy, geez, I should know this, but I'm more of the like a rock generation.
No, right, well,
You know?
we were born like, just what, 2 months apart?
Yeah.
Same generation as you, Alex.
We're the like a rock generation. And this thing sank to the bottom of a lake like a rock. But she's back. Seriously though, it's like new in here. Russ kept it so well. And now we get to go check out his new Silverado 2024.
Oh, I can't wait to see his new truck.
Yeah, he didn't get blue. He got gray. He said they couldn't find the blue one.
Aw.
Yeah, but
That's tough. I understand that. When you like a look, you want your car back.
yeah, this is the one I would have ordered from the factory. I just had to wait 10 years in the lake, you know? All right, we're almost there. We're getting off at the Madison exit. Where all my Wisconsin people at? We're getting about 16 miles per gallon. Yeah, to be expected, right? Is this a coincidence? I don't think so, but the song Chevrolet just came on. That's pretty crazy. I've never even heard the song, honestly, but it's probably a remake. Anyone else like Jelly Roll? I'm trying to get into him because we're going to see him this summer in Chicago, but so far so good. I like it. That's a good remake. This is it. This is it. Oh, there he is. There he is. Oh, that thing is sweet. Russ, that color is awesome.
Pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. So this, you said this happened at the
pier.
At the pier.
Yeah, when
okay.
it went down. I sent you that picture and the truck was floating.
Yeah.
And then as it went down, it caught that pier and did that.
Oh, man.
Killed me when I seen it.
I know. I'm gonna get that fixed. Don't worry. That's getting fixed. And then, do you remember the door? Like, how did you guys get the door to close after it was out of the water? Because in the picture you sent me, the door looks completely bent forward.
It was.
Did someone just slam it or something?
Basically, I did. After the water drained out of it, I just went over to it and I tried to close it at first normal and it wouldn't close right away. And I gave it a little punch and I'm like, must have been sprung a little bit.
So we didn't replace it. Can you believe how nice we got it?
Yeah.
We took the whole door off and kind of fixed it up and now it even closes like,
Nice.
yeah. So here she is.
Does everything work on it?
Yeah, man, like literally go ahead, take a seat.
Heated steering wheel and everything?
Okay, no. That's the one thing that does not work, but the heated seats work. There's no warning lights.
Cooling seats work?
The cooling seats work. Yep, the fans come on, the lumbars work.
It's, I never thought I'd see it again. You guys don't realize how much I love this truck. This truck was everything to me. It was my baby and it hardly got drove and pulled the boat mostly,
Yeah.
you know, so.
I mean, you took great care of it. It looks like a brand new truck inside.
Yeah.
You know, even after being in the water, you can't tell.
I can't believe you. I saw it when it was gutted and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, he's never gonna get that thing back together. But you did a great job. It looks awesome.
And you bought this new, right?
Brand new.
Yeah.
It's for my 50th birthday.
Okay.
I bought it for myself. And it was the first new truck that I had in a long, long time.
Wait, you're 60?
Yep,
You look like you're 50.
I'm 59.
Whatever.
I'll be 60 this year. So.
All right, we're getting a lake house. It's that lake life.
But yeah, this truck is just incredible. You did a fantastic job. Wow.
Thank you, thank you.
Amazing.
So we did replace the cluster, the screen, some of the buttons here. But by new, I mean like used. Like we got a lot of this stuff used for like
Right.
$50. Like these heated and cooled seat switches were $10 new from the dealer.
Oh, you're kidding
So
me.
everything is like really inexpensive. But the one and only thing that currently doesn't work is the heated steering wheel. But I'm gonna get it working. It's probably just needs the steering wheel switch button there, which is like super
The cruise works and all that
Yeah,
sort
the
of stuff?
cruise works. Like literally every single thing in this truck works perfectly. It runs and drives beautifully. I mean, we just drove it 2 hours from Chicago and it was awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And it doesn't pull any codes or anything?
No,
Air codes?
no, nothing. Well, that's actually part of this test drive. The one last code we were getting was for an O2 sensor, which is no big deal, and it hasn't come back. So,
cool.
Fingers crossed.
Wow.
Yeah.
All my buddies are like that have seen the show now because I've passed it around quite a bit, and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna have so many electrical problems and all this sort of stuff." And I'm like, the way that everything was sealed up, and
Hey, look, it should have like a million electrical problems. Your friends aren't wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the same thing. I've never done a fully submerged flood car like this. I didn't know what to expect. It could have been a part out. I bought it assuming that worst case I'd have to part it out and get my money back. But with fees, I'm $6,500 into this car, and then maybe we'll go over this in a little bit, but I think I have $1,500 into it.
Wow.
So for $8,000, I'm driving this thing around. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
How many hours do you think you got in it though?
I don't know. I mean, filming doubles or triples my time, but if I wasn't filming any videos, 40 hours.
No kidding.
You know, like nothing crazy.
Yeah.
It's not like I had to rebuild the engine or anything, you know, like.
Well, you did tear it down quite a ways.
Yeah, with the oil pan, you know, it was like a 5-hour job, you know. So no, honestly, the labor time has not been bad. The parts haven't been bad. Everything's been great. Chevy has not flagged this thing, so it actually has 2 open recalls. I can bring it to the dealer and they'll do them for me.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, they have no idea it was flooded, so I'm gonna go quick before they figure it out.
No doubt.
I'm also gonna get some more keys. You don't have any more keys, do you?
No, I think I sent all the keys to the insurance company. They had fobs and everything.
Darn, they didn't.
They requested them.
They just put one.
Oh, really?
You don't happen to know your insurance company well. Do you think you could call them?
State Farm, yeah.
Were you there when they drew the flood line?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't know who did that. And the dealer didn't do it, so.
Yeah.
Because I seen it at the dealer.
They brought it to the dealer?
Well, they originally, State Farm says it's fixable. And I'm like, you think it's fixable? And they're like, yeah, we think it's fixable. And I'm like, okay. So they took it to Bergstrom in Madison here, dropped it off there, and basically said, give us an estimate. They waited a couple of days, and then kept calling the insurance company going, okay, let's move on with this. Let's move on. I got to buy another vehicle. And then they came through, and Bergstrom went out and looked at it. There was water in the cup holders, and he was like, it's not fixable. It'd take way too much for a dealer to fix this.
Yeah.
So, but obviously it is fixable.
It is, but I understand why a dealership and an insurance company wouldn't want to fix this car. If I was them, I wouldn't want to fix it either, because especially with the safety features of the vehicle, if they're at all compromised, I mean, you have to replace everything. It would cost so much for them.
Right.
Because then 2 years later, if something happened, you could sue them, So I get why they wouldn't do that. I mean, they total cars out for a lot less than being fully submerged in a lake. I'm surprised they actually considered it.
I was too. I was like, well, they put it in their computer and it says it's fixable.
No, they never fix flood cars, especially when it's this high.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, you saw the flood line where it's way off.
Yeah.
It's like 2 feet higher.
The rearview mirror was out of the water, I think.
Yeah.
And this, maybe.
Yeah, the headliner was saved.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my YouTuber friends on the way up here, and he's like, hey, you sound pretty good for a Silverado that's been underwater. And I'm like, this mic was the only thing not underwater.
It's true.
Oh, man. This is awesome. Russ saved the floor mats for me. That's so cool. Wow. Russ's truck is sweet. Thanks, Russ. Appreciate it. Look at that. He grabbed the floor mats out of it when it went into the lake, or after it went out of the lake, I guess. So I have the floor mats that came with it. They're really nice rubber ones that are for the Silverado. And the tonneau cover. He took this and then you negotiated money back from the insurance company or something?
Yeah, I wanted it because I thought maybe it would fit this truck.
Yeah.
And
what'd they give you? Or what'd you have to give them back? I mean?
$150.
Oh, man, that's great. So I'm buying this off of Russ. I'm like, I'll take it. It's for my truck.
It'll fit right on.
Hey, this is like the first thing I'm hauling in the back of my pickup. My own tonneau cover.
These tires had like 6,000 miles.
Oh, those tires have like 6,000 miles?
Yeah.
No way. They look like brand new.
They were very much. The tires that were originally on that vehicle were not very good tires.
Oh,
yeah. More of a street tire.
I got new shocks on order. Nothing wrong with those, but they're just kind of rusted out and stuff.
Yeah, it didn't see a lot of salt.
Yeah, no, it looks great under there. Like the frame looks fantastic. It's clean for a Wisconsin truck,
Yeah, this garage kept all the time, heated, cooled.
It's awesome.
It happened right on this end here, but you can see how low the water is. And that's part of what happened. The water was so low that I had to back the truck in just a little bit further. And it put the wheels on the slick ramp. Then I went back and bumped the boat off and the truck just started coming.
And it was in 2-wheel drive, right?
Yep.
Okay.
A couple of things you should always do. Good learning lesson. Put your parking brake on. I've been dumping boats for 35 years and I had a bad situation with a parking brake at one time. So I kind of got out of that habit.
Yeah, because it can lock up sometimes, freeze up. Yeah,
it's a good habit to be in.
Yeah.
And then we also thought about putting it in four-wheel drive. You know, if it would have been in four-wheel drive, would have stayed in four-wheel drive if you had it parked. I don't know. It just depends on the type of.
Yeah, it depends on the type of truck, but on this one, I believe it would have helped for sure. So, you know, Russ emailed me. How did you find the videos? Did someone send it to you or just scroll YouTube?
I teach the apprenticeship program for the elevator trade. One of my students had sent it to me. Big car guy. He's like, "Is this your truck?" And I looked at it and I'm like, "Oh my God, that is my truck." So you could tell with all the stickers and all that sort of stuff that are on the truck. But he sent it to me and then I watched it. And then I looked at all the comments and I was like, reading some of them like, "Oh, it's insurance fraud. He dumped it in the lake on purpose." And I'm like, I'm not gonna put my name out there. So then I saw the second video and you had an email address and I'm like, well, that's a little more private.
So Russ was a little hesitant on being in the video because his boat was floating in the lake here. But I'm like, you know what? This is gonna happen to anybody with algae on a boat ramp. And you know, with some of the views my videos get, we could actually maybe help someone else just understand that this can be dangerous, because I've never put a boat in the water, but like one day I wanna get a boat. I'm gonna have a first time and maybe I don't know that. Maybe I don't know how slick these ramps can get. So hopefully it'll help someone out there. These ramps can get really slick with algae. Keep it in four-wheel drive, parking brake, be careful. And then you had said the back end was floating first and you had your tonneau cover sealed up, which those seal with weather stripping, it looks like, which could have created like a little bit of an air bubble to help that back end kind of float. So maybe keep that open.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as the back end started floating, the truck just rolled right down. I couldn't stop it anymore. So it was
even maybe chalking the front wheels at a certain point, something like that. So
boat ramps can get really busy, especially on the Madison chain. And you know, to take all those extra steps, sometimes you want to try to get in and out really quick, so you're not holding up the line. And I guess you just got to take a little bit extra time and, you know, do it right.
Yeah,
I've learned my lesson now, so hopefully it'll never happen to me again. But I've had some friends happen it to them, so.
Worst case, you just need about 2 weeks worth of work and you can get your truck right back going again.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, apparently.
If you're capable, I guess you can do anything.
Oh man, I gotta walk down this ramp a little bit. This is awesome. You can see how thick the algae is. I mean, look at that. That is crazy. Like, you need good tires for that. I told myself if I successfully rebuild this Silverado, I'm driving it back to the boat ramp and I'm backing it up for a picture. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm in four-wheel drive. So we're bringing it back to the scene of the crime. I'm gonna pretend I have a boat, which I don't. One day, boats are cool. All right, we're not gonna go much further than that because there's ice. But here she is. All right, parking brake on, four-wheel drive. Guys, seriously, could you imagine if I go on the ice and it did slide back and we did this all over again? That would be hilarious. Oh man, this is great. You hopped on here and then walked around to get onto your boat, right?
Yeah, so just come around. I don't know if I cut through here or not. I just walked down here and the boat was sitting right there and I just jumped in the boat from about here and started it up, put it in reverse, went to bump it off and kind of caught my eye that the truck was moving and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So then I threw it back in forward and I pushed the truck, what I thought, up far enough and pulled it out of gear and went and jumped out of the boat to get back in the truck and it just started coming. Just started sliding. So one thing I had assumed was that you were getting your boat out of the water at the end of the season. You were putting the boat in the water just to go fishing, right? Yep. And you said there were like 40 first responders here or something like that? There's like 19 emergency personnel that responded. City, police, county police. They had the diver in here, right? Yep. 2 firefighters went in the water to hook the truck back up and the DNR came down, conservation warden, and then there was a crowd of people eventually that were all standing around and I'm just shaking my head going, wow, can't believe this happened. So, you know what's crazy? I still haven't found a video yet. Like someone had to have taken a video of this thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. That I don't know. So here's all the water that was in my truck. Yeah, so the truck ended up at the end and I had a trailer on it too. So I was like, how far can it go? And I didn't realize really how deep this was here. In history, it's been a little shallower over on this side, but they did some work here and they must have dredged it out enough to sink the entire truck. Gosh, it's funny. One of my kids was like, well, Dad, if he didn't do that, you wouldn't have this really cool truck right now. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess if we're thinking of the positives here, then yes. Yep. Oh, well, it's really cool that you got it running and it's beautiful. I mean, it runs good, sounds good, starts right up. Yeah. Fantastic. You wanna go for a quick ride? Sure. All right, cool. Never thought I'd drive this thing again. It's smooth as glass. It is. It's just like it was. It was always a very comfortable truck.
Yeah, this is the first time my wife's been in it, and you know, obviously it's the longest we've driven. I've just driven this from my shop to my house like twice, and everything was great.
Cool. It's even cooler that there's no problems.
I know. For how long, we'll see, but I think we did a pretty good job. I went through the whole harness, cleaned all the pins, lubricated them, sealed them, you know, replaced everything that was corroded, or even if it was working and corroded, I just replaced it for the most part. And yeah, it's been great.
It looks fantastic. You did a really good job, Alex.
Thank you.
I'm impressed. I'm kind of hooked on a lot of your videos now.
I appreciate that.
The Cadillac Escalade was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, with the supercharger?
Yeah. The look on your wife's face when she took off the first time, her eyes got really big, and I just sat there and laughed about it. I'm like, that's funny.
A lot of people in the comments are like, how long till I supercharge this thing?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
God, this ride's nice.
Yeah. How is it compared to the new one? I'm sure those are really nice.
My new truck rides pretty good. You know, I looked at getting another LTZ, but I just like was, you know, or a model similar to the LTZ. And I was just like, I really don't want to spend that much money. This was a very expensive truck in its day.
Yeah, we were able to salvage the window sticker. It was like $55,000.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm sure the same version of this truck now is at least $65,000.
Yeah, I got mine on a pretty good deal. 0% financing for 48 months. So I was like, that's like free money.
Yeah, no, that's great.
So
I didn't think they were still doing that stuff. Did you ever have any major work done to this while in your ownership?
Nope. And I did just change the transmission fluid. You said that in the video.
I saw that in the Carfax, yeah.
Yeah, and I did change it. I wanted to do it before 50,000 miles. I think I did it right before 50,000 miles. I think GM at that time was like, you know, we'll warranty it for 100,000 miles or whatever. And if you get your oil changed, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead and do it.
No issues with the engine?
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope. I had a little chirp every once in a while when it was idling. It was like maybe a pulley or something like that. It would just chirp just a little bit every once in a while. And I'm like, what is that? I took it in, they put a new belt on it.
That was it?
It still did it. Like, they're not worried about it. So
and I haven't heard that yet. Maybe the water fixed it.
Yeah.
I did have to do I repacked the grease on the AC.
I saw that.
Bearing, and that was just straight up from the water, you could tell. But other than that, the accessory drive has been fine. Everything works good.
Yeah. Shift's good. Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I thought for sure with water in the transmission that it would have damaged it. You know, some of the plastic parts in there and things like that.
Same, especially when I saw that the shifter was like literally frozen. I'm like, oh, what's this gonna look like inside?
Banging on it with a hammer, I'm like,
well, yeah, it looked worse in the video. I was being very gentle because I'm like, it should just move with like almost no resistance, and it didn't. So there was only a little bit of water in the trans. You know, it wasn't too bad. We did 2 flushes on the engine and the trans. So this was running when it went in, right?
Yeah, typically I always leave my vehicle run when I dump a boat. Don't always necessarily leave the door open. I think I was just in a hurry.
Yeah.
And probably part of the cause of all this was because I was in a hurry. It was running, and as it floated back, the muffler obviously was under water, and it was bubbling away and bubbling, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And then all of a sudden it just stopped.
How long do you think it was running underwater for, essentially?
Well, the whole event happened in like 15 to 20 seconds. I mean, that's how fast it was in the water.
Okay.
And floating. And it probably floated for another, I don't know, 30 seconds, but it wasn't running that entire time. It was probably running for another 15 seconds
Okay,
or so.
so it died out probably 15 seconds in the water.
Yeah.
And then how long was the truck actually like submerged? Like when it stopped like going down the ramp and it was fully submerged, how long was it in the lake for?
I would say about 40 minutes.
Okay.
That's about what it took for the towing company to show up and the divers to be able to get a hook on the front hooks. They were having a hard time doing that.
So
They're like, are you sure it has hooks? And I'm like, it does. I thought you were going to have to replace the entire interior.
Like as far as the cosmetics inside of here, it's all original. It was all just electronics.
Crazy.
So 40 minutes where you could only see the very top of the cab corner.
Yep. About that. A couple of things that were kind of interesting, and I don't know if it was a safety feature or not, but the back windows rolled down.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why they did that, if it was a feature. The windshield wipers were going, which I've seen that before on trucks that get put in the water, that the windshield wipers start going.
Yeah.
And must just short out and take off or do whatever and start running. So it was not running that long, but it was running. I can't believe that the engine wasn't hurt more than
I know. So it must have died from something getting wet electronically rather than it sucking water into the actual engine, although there was a ton of water in there, but that was most likely just coming in through the intake and everything. But yeah, the engine is just perfect.
It runs great.
Yeah.
I mean, no misses, anything like that. It just, all the gauges look like they're working well, and cool.
That's really cool.
You did a really good job.
Well, thank you so much.
Proud of you, man.
Thank you for meeting me out here.
Yeah.
Taking time out of your day. I appreciate it. This kind of, for me, I always love hearing the story of some of the odd cars that I buy, and to, you know, be able to chat with the original owner and kind of see where it all happened is really cool. So I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your new truck. We got to grab some pictures though with these things side by side.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a new Z71, so why not?
Yeah, it's a good truck.
Thanks, Russ. I appreciate it.
Wow.
Yeah. She survived.
Still pretty clean.
Yeah, right? I gotta do some engine detailing, but it'll look good. I mean, look at even this is okay. Like, all this stuff got wet and it's fine. Like a rock.
It's a good truck.
Yeah. I just took some pictures with Russ's new truck right next to his old truck. And this is a 2024 Z71, really cool color. Look at that. Oh, this only has 1,500 miles. So the new Chevys are sweet. Look at the interior with a gigantic screen. I will say the one thing I don't like is the shifter right here. It doesn't fold down or anything like the F-150s do. It's just here and it's all electronic. There's no cable. It doesn't need to be here. It could be on the column. It could be a button or a knob or something. It just takes up so much real estate. So anyway, that's like my only complaint with these newer GM trucks. I do think his is a tad taller than mine. They're both Z71s, but this looks more lifted, I guess. Yeah, I think so. I think it is taller. So this is the RST trim Z71 off-road package. I don't know what the name of this color is, but it is nice. These are exactly the wheels I would get too. Oh, those tires I like those tires. These are nice too, but I don't know. I kind of want, something a little bit meatier, maybe a one meteor step up from these, something like that. That's a phrase, right? Meteor. This new one just looks mean. Mine is the LTZ, kind of the more luxurious chrome package and all that kind of good stuff, but I love it. I got you some stuff.
Cool.
LegitStreetCars shop wipes.
Nice.
These are fantastic. If you're going fishing, whatever, you can wipe up your hands, and they're great, obviously, for the garage as well. And then an Ultra pen light, again, great in the garage, but you're a fisherman. So like all of this stuff applies, to anyone that does anything outdoors. So
cool.
There you go.
Thank you.
No problem.
Take care.
Thanks, Russ. All right, you too. Talk to you soon. Russ is out. All right, we're heading back to Legit Street Quarters, and I'm gonna go over what it cost me to rebuild this truck, so you guys know if this was even a good deal, because with fees it was $6,500, but obviously I had to fix quite a bit. So we'll go over some numbers. If we make it back, it could still break. It's a flood car. Well, it's 5 days later, and I've driven a grand total of 600 miles in my lake-flooded Chevy Silverado, and I wanted to do that just in case something else broke, so I could add it to the grand total. And knock on my Eclipse GSX, nothing has broken on the Silverado. It's been fantastic, and I do think it is going to be my daily driver now. I love this thing. So without further ado, the grand total to rebuild my 15 Silverado LTZ Z71 that it was at, the bottom of a boat ramp was $10,100. So this truck cost me $5,300 at the auction, but then there's $1,200 in auction fees. So $6,500 to get this truck, and then $3,600 in parts. So $10,100. The insurance company paid them out $29,500, which is just what this truck would be worth, a normal non-flooded clean title one. And I do think this truck, especially if someone came out and looked at it, because it's like, you can't even tell. I think it's worth in the upper teens right now, something like that. Maybe even 20 if you saw all the videos and saw what went into it. So definitely a great purchase. And honestly, this would have been a great purchase for someone who is going to part it out as well, because I was looking into the cost of some of these parts, especially the body parts in excellent condition, like most of these, and they add up. I think you could, sell parts off this truck for like $12,000 to $14,000. So no matter how you bought this Silverado, it was basically never going to be a loser. Now, this always doesn't happen this way, but I wanted to break down, the reality and the cost. Now, I do have a second channel. It's called Legit Street Cars 2, and I'm gonna start posting up there again, and I'm gonna make a video on the Silverado where I break down this cost line by line, and I'm also going to explain to you guys why I never include my labor time or any labor costs from me doing any of the work into the grand total of these projects. And I'm also gonna break down some very, very important warnings for you guys when you're buying auction cars, because I know this series may influence some of you guys out there to do the same thing, but you could easily lose on stuff like this. I definitely, kind of lucked out, and I have a ton of experience with this stuff. So I'm gonna go over some of the downsides of buying these auction cars that maybe some of the other YouTubers don't really talk about because they're just making videos. They just want them to be entertaining. And I get that, but there are a lot of truths here that need to be said. So if you want, click on the link down below to subscribe to LegitStreetCars 2. I'm gonna be posting content like that and a lot of other cool stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys have really enjoyed the series on my lake flooded Chevy Silverado. I do think there's a little bit more to come on this truck. I don't know, maybe I'll make it faster, I'm not sure yet. But anyway, if you did enjoy the series, give it a big thumbs up. Share this one, share the whole playlist with your friends and family. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's a free little button down there and it really helps me out. But most importantly, have an awesome day and I'll see all of you in the next video. And so now it's time to complete. And so now it's time to complete this project. Oh, really expensive part. Yeah. And now it's time to finish. Now my Chevy, and I'm pretty sure I have all the remaining parts needed to bring this Silverado back to. I took this apart. I did take this apart. It's just as corroded. Now, if you guys saw me taking apart the other control modules, that's what this truck actually has. That's what this truck actually has, and we programmed that. And if you guys are worried about using a bunch of water, and if you guys are worried about using water on your leather, these looking at the airbag material, the SRS, the airbag system also runs. The airbag system is also very sensitive. Testing.
Here, why don't you walk away?
Testing. I did this stuff on the wife's Cadillac as well with the 8-speed, so both I did this. I put the same stuff on my wife's Cadillac 8-speed. Another problematic. That is the legal spadelet. Rust looks way worse on camera. I think rust looks way worse. I think rust looks way worse. And this truck already doesn't, I think this truck, this generation truck, and I coincidentally have about a half tank of fuel. It says I coincidentally have a tank. I think it looks cool. I drop my kids off at school. I think it looks cool. That's pretty much it.